legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The breaking news of the moment is that Kimberly Cheadle, head of the United States Secret Service, in the hot seat as she prepares to testify. Of course, I have that leaked, the leaked advanced script, if you will. She's expected to fall on the sword, so to speak, and take full responsibility. As we wait for that to get underway, camera people, video people, everybody's gathering for that. So we'll dip in live to that if need be. I want to just focus on a few things that are happening right now. Kamala Harris, so the attacks are focused on her as the presumptive, person that Biden then endorsed over the weekend. Man, what a fast-moving pace with all the news developments. But in this one, because we saw over the weekend where Democrats' talking points, and it's amazing to me how they all seem to get the same texts and talking points, but one of them was, from a convicted felon versus Kamala, who's a cop. First of all, does anybody really believe that Kamala Harris, the vice president, could be called a cop or a law and order candidate? I know back in the day she was a prosecutor in California, but let us not forget, and this has gone viral, where people are talking about this bail fund backed by Kamala Harris as the vice president, where she helped to free, she's credited with helping to free many individuals. One of them, a convicted criminal who then allegedly killed an enemy over an argument he had, over a beef he had with that man. It's a far-left Minnesota Freedom Fund. This was the summer of 2020. We remember it well after the George Floyd-related riots that happened in 2020. Parts of Minneapolis burned. Cities across America burned. There were many individuals who were killed, burned, maimed. Many of them law enforcement officer, the defund the police movement, all of it. At that point, Harris had encouraged Twitter users and social media users to donate to that Minnesota Freedom Fund to bail out those protesters who were arrested, as all of these, many of them peaceful protests that then morphed into violence. And we've talked a lot about that. But she had put out there, hey, if you're able to chip in to this Freedom Fund, and that was specifically in Minnesota, help post bail for those protesting there in Minneapolis, in Minnesota at the time. And she had put that out there, donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. So what happened then was that one of the people bailed out that she had said, bail out this guy, identified as Sean Michael Tillman of St. Paul, Minneapolis, if you're familiar, Twin Cities, was out for 3 weeks before he was then accused of murdering a man. So he was bailed out April 29th in connection to an indecent exposure case, and then allegedly shot another victim 6 times. 6 times, May 20th, killing that man. And this was captured, according to the police, the local police, this was captured on a surveillance video showing the victim falling after being shot multiple times, allegedly at the hands of this Tillman, who Kamala Harris is credited with helping to bail out. So they said that the victim, they talk about, it was a horrible situation, but they're talking about Tillman's criminal history, 8 convictions of, among other things, indecent exposure, weapons charges, other charges, and in this one, he is accused of murder. So this kind of situation where now they're going to tie her to the defund the police movement, they're going to tie Kamala to cases like this, where they're saying, oh, we need to have bail. We need to help these people bail them out. And it's not that they're innocent people, but they're people with a long career criminal record. And that's what they're going to put to her and say, she's not a law and order president. In fact, she helped defund the police. She helped put violent predators and violent criminals right onto our streets. All right. Are you ready for this? We didn't get enough. If you're looking for your Trump fix, because we have all this Trump audio that Greg Stocker had pulled, we never got through it. So let's just play one highlight. Trump is amazing. When you think of this huge rally, huge crowd, and of course the media is not going to talk about it, incredible, as he still recovers from being shot at and that ear injury, some of the swelling has gone down, but he took a bullet to the ear. You have to think about that a week ago. So can we play just one clip? Give me one.
When Biden says, we have to stop MAGA, we will stop MAGA. I said, he doesn't know what MAGA stands for. It stands for Make America Great Again. How can you be against that? How can you be against that? And the other side's going around trying to make me sound extreme, like I'm an extremist. I'm not. I'm a person with great common sense. I'm not an extremist at all. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. What did I do against democracy?
Is he a danger to democracy?
Crazy.
I think not. Listen to the cheers. Huge crowd. Fight, fight, fight. So there's Trump, and we'll play those highlights for you because he had a great rally. I think J.D. Vance, this afternoon, is going to have his first solo rally. J.D. Vance, the Veep pick, obviously. And this as the Democrats, are they in disarray? What are they doing? I just don't trust them, and I think they're disingenuous. We've seen it in the past. I've been saying it all morning. I just think that what is Obama up to? Because he was very careful not to speak about Harris. So who do they want? What do they want? They're going to dodge. They're going to do everything they can to dodge the delegates or the democratic process. That's what they're doing. They meet behind closed doors. They make these decisions. That's what's going on. Okay. We know that over the weekend so much was breaking. I just want to, just as we think about the fact that Kimberly Cheadle, who is somebody who, to me, this is a patronage job. She was on the VP duty, if you will, to protect Biden when he was the Veep. And so he liked her. She was on his detail. And so he gave her this job about 2 years ago. He didn't give the job to the best person. He gave it to the one this was a patronage situation that was loyal to him. He put her on the job. And so now she's in the hot seat and preparing to testify. We know that she's expected to say, among other things, that she takes full responsibility for any security lapse. As an agency, she says that the Secret Service is fully cooperating with the FBI's investigation and the oversight that you have initiated here. So she's about to testify. She's going to, fall on the sword, so to speak. And let's take it live. Let's listen in.
Today's witness, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, is here under subpoena to answer questions about how the agency failed President Trump and the victims who attended the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Obviously, James Comer.
It is my firm belief, Director Cheadle, that you should resign.
Amen.
However, in complete defiance, Director Cheadle has maintained she will not tender her resignation. Therefore, she will answer questions today from members of this committee seeking to provide clarity to the American people about how these events were allowed to transpire. We will ask these questions because the Secret Service and its parent agency, the Department of Homeland Security, have been unwilling to provide answers to the American people. DHS has sought to push this hearing to a different time. Secret Service has suggested the hearing occur without media presence, and both agencies have provided only shallow explanations to Congress about what happened on July 13th. Indeed, DHS and Secret Service's lack of communication with the Oversight Committee required me to issue a subpoena compelling Director Cheadle to attend today, and still DHS requested more time to prepare. It shouldn't take this much time or preparation, Director Cheadle, to tell the truth and to be transparent with the American people. I am thankful to the ranking member, Mr. Raskin, for joining me in insisting that Director Cheadle appear today. God knows the ranking member and I disagree on many things, but that does not matter today. The safety of Secret Service protectees is not based on their political affiliation, and the bottom line is that under Director Cheadle's leadership, we question whether anyone is safe. Not President Biden, not the First Lady, not the White House, and certainly not the presidential candidates.
Or the crowds who come to see
The July 13th assassination attempt is one of the darkest days in American political history. It represents the ugliest parts of what American politics has become: hatred of each other and a dangerous turn to extremism. Before we are Republicans or Democrats, we are Americans. If we place our political affiliations above our duty and love of country, we cannot maintain a country. We must ensure our republic is strong, and our republic cannot be strong when our leadership, our elections, our institutions, and our candidates are threatened by extremism and violence. Today, Director Cheadle will answer questions about why she deserves to continue to play a critical role in preserving this country's safety and, at the very least, what led to the catastrophic, deadly events on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania. Again, I do not believe Director Cheadle deserves to maintain her position as head of the Secret Service, but members of the American people will make their own decisions based on her answers today.
This is her first hearing before Congress. I urge Director Cheadle to be transparent and forthcoming in her testimony today. Americans deserve no less. We have a duty to find out how this happened and to ensure it never happens again. I now yield to Ranking Member Raskin for his opening statement.
Thank you kindly, Chairman Comer. Elijah Cummings, whose beautiful visage looks down upon us, taught us that the way to find common ground in a crisis is to look for the higher ground. And last week, Chairman Comer and I came together to reach for that higher ground. We made a joint statement condemning the mass shooting and assassination attempt against former President Trump as a grave assault on our democracy.
So let's come out of this.
We are united.
Because these are still the opening statements, as I had said. So can we dip out of this now just real quick? We'll watch it, and when she starts speaking in her statement, but so bipartisan support to have this hearing today. This is her the first hearing before Congress, and Cheadle is also expected to tell the committee she will move heaven and earth to ensure that what happened on July 13th will never, ever happen again, saying our mission as Secret Service is not political. That's one of her lines that she's expected to say. What I have to point out here, is that we have to think about the safety of a crowd. And we discussed that earlier on Kale and Company, and I had said, I think there's a feeling among conservatives that this administration in general, as far as a failure of leadership, failed to care or failed to protect a large group of conservatives, of those so-called Make America Great Again MAGA supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania. And so they left open this possibility that, God forbid, bullets could fly. They knew that there were other threats internationally, which they've said that has nothing to do with this 20-year-old rogue crazy kid. That's how they've painted this. But there are so many questions as we learn more about this 20-year-old. My whole statement is whether it was just by omission, that they pulled resources, didn't have enough resources. We're hearing about a drone flying over before the rally. How could any of this happen? How could this 20-year-old have these encrypted accounts? Sure seemed like he was able to think ahead, look ahead, research, and nobody stopped him. Even when we know that he was in their sights, they saw him, they noticed him, he was a person of interest. Are you kidding me? And so I think it's bad enough. It's bad enough we had an assassination attempt on former President Donald J. Trump. That's bad enough. But it's an insult to stand here and say, well, this is the worst political day. That's an insult to the 55,000 plus Americans, our fellow Americans who were there with their families, their wives, their children, their husbands. And I'll just say, I just imagine myself, I just think of, oh my God, what is the now widow, Helen Comparator, whose husband, just turning 50 years old, by all accounts, an amazing human being who died that day. He was murdered that day. And his murder, his blood, is on the hands of not just the head of the Secret Service. No. This is Biden. This is Biden's person who he hired for the job. The blood of Corey Comparator is on the hands of President Joe Biden, who, by the way, is still the president as of this morning. Have we heard him talk about Corey? Have we heard him talk about these families? Have we? So it's not just about politics. It's about the protection of our American citizens, yes, gathered for a political rally on the grounds that usually they have the farm show there. But these are our fellow Americans put in harm's way because of the incompetence of Joe Biden and his administration. And that's what I see here. So moving forward, we have a ton of audio. We'll take a break so we can, hear this one, Kimberly, as she testifies, and we already know what she's going to say. We'll dip into that. And speaking of dips, you're going to hear some awesome audio that's putting side by side the Veep dip next to a TV Veep. We're going to have some fun with it. We'll get serious, and we'll go in and out of local news, local reaction, and these idiots. 855-839-1210. Going to be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. I want to tell you about a huge Politics and Pints, really huge. I'm bringing to town on July 30th to the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey, Don Trump Jr. We'll talk the election, State of the Union, all the recent events, cash bars, soft drinks, wine, and the like. You don't want to be shut out on this one. Don Trump Jr. Go to 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
Slim down this summer with NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's faster and safer than weight loss injections. Lose those extra pounds the safe and natural way without any shots. Get started at njdiet.com.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit pendot.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
This summer, take a trip down memory lane with me and hear from the legends of baseball. I'm Brett Boone from the Brett Boone Podcast. Every week I have a conversation with one of baseball's greats to talk about the glory days and reflect on today's game. Randy Johnson, Pete Rose, Deion Sanders, Jay Buhner, Albert Bell, and Goose Gossage. They've all shared their wisdom with stories of their playing days. To hear who's next, follow and listen to the Brett Boone Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
A good thing. You know, a lot of times the press would say he gets along with Kim Jong-un, North Korea. He has a lot of nuclear weapons. I got along with him great. You were never in danger with me as your president. It's a good thing to get along, not a bad thing. I used to tell him, why don't you do something else? All he wants to do is buy nuclear weapons and make them. I said, just relax, chill. You got enough. You got so much nuclear weapons, so much. I said, just relax. Go to let's go to a baseball game. I'll show you what a baseball is. We'll go watch the Yankees, or we'll come watch Michigan at its home opener. Okay, how about that?
Smart. You know, in and out, and he jokes about this, but the truth is he was showing world leaders respect, and that's really all they wanted. They wanted recognition and respect, and then they would have a conversation with him. That was his method. So would you rather have somebody who just ostracizes our country and the rest of the world? They're ostracized. Doesn't that make them more dangerous? All right, here's Kim Cheadle. So we'll take Secret Service. Let's just dip into this.
Operational failure of the Secret Service in decades, and I am keeping him and his family in my thoughts. I would like to offer my sincerest condolences to the family of Corey Comparator, a former fire chief and a hero who was killed in this senseless shooting. I would also like to acknowledge those who were injured in Butler, David Dutch and James Copenhagen, and I wish them a speedy recovery. I would be remiss if I did not also extend my condolences on the passing of your colleague, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Ms. Jackson Lee was always engaged in the oversight of the Secret Service, and her passing is a great loss to this body. The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. We are fully cooperating with ongoing investigations. We must learn what happened, and I will move heaven and earth to ensure that an incident like July 13th does not happen again. Let me state unequivocally, nothing I have said should be interpreted to place blame for this failure on our federal, state, or local law enforcement partners who supported the Secret Service in Butler. We could not do our job without them. We rely on the relationships built over years of working together to secure events and conduct investigations. Our agents, officers, and support personnel understand that every day we are expected to sacrifice our lives to execute a no-fail mission. As witnessed on July 13th, our special agents shielded former President Trump with their own bodies on stage while shots were being fired. Selflessly willing to make the ultimate sacrifice without hesitation, I am proud beyond words of the actions taken by the former president's detail, the counter-sniper team who neutralized the gunman, and the tactical team who was prepared to act. I will be transparent as possible when I speak with you, understanding, though, at times that I may be limited in providing a thorough response in this open setting due to associated risks with sharing highly sensitive protective methodologies. I do not want to inadvertently provide you today with inaccurate information. Since January 1st, 2024, the Secret Service has successfully secured over 7,500 sites. Every protective advance comes with its own set of challenges and requires a customized mitigation strategy, including specific assets. Security plans are multi-layered, providing 360 degrees of protection. These layers include personnel, technical, and tactical assets, which are a force multiplier for our protective posture. During every advance, we attempt to strike a balance between enabling the protectee to be visible and our protective requirements to be secure. I know this because I have spent 29 years in this agency. I came up through the ranks. I've secured events for every president since President Clinton, supervised on Vice President Cheney's detail, led our training center, oversaw all of the investigations and protective visits in the state of Georgia, supervised on Vice President Biden's detail, and the agency's entire protective mission during the Trump administration. The comprehensive advance process involves collaborative planning between our Secret Service, the protectee's staff, local law enforcement partners, and the level of security provided for the former president increased well before the campaign and has been steadily increasing as threats evolve. The security plan included a full assessment of the Butler Farm showgrounds to identify security vulnerabilities and craft a security plan for the protectee, attendees, and the public. Immediately following the assassination attempt, I directed the activation of my crisis center. I assembled my executive team to begin surging more protective resources to the former president and to ensure the wellness of our people post-incident, all while securing an active crime scene. I immediately ordered a reevaluation of the Republican National Convention security plan, and I increased the security posture in the National Capital Region for all permanent protectees and sites. At the same time, I initiated a mission assurance investigation within our agency. I have instructed my team that all necessary resources will be dedicated to investigating these matters. We will not rest until we have explored every option, and we will leave no stone unturned. But I want to be clear. I am not waiting for these investigations to be completed prior to making changes. Over the past 2 weeks, we successfully led the planning and execution of the 75th NATO Summit and the Republican National Convention. Over the next few months, we will implement security plans for the Democratic National Convention, the United Nations General Assembly, and have already begun planning and coordinating the 2025 inauguration. It is now more important than ever for the men and women of the Secret Service to remain resilient and to focus on what is necessary to carry out our critical mission. Our agency needs to be adequately resourced in order to serve our current mission requirements and anticipate future requirements. The Secret Service currently protects 36 individuals on a daily basis, as well as world leaders who visit the United States, like Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who arrived in Washington, D.C. today. The coming years will bring an unprecedented heavy protection tempo. I have no doubt that the processes that I have implemented during my tenure as director, in addition to my nearly 30 years of experience in this agency, have positioned the Secret Service to be stronger. Our mission is not political. It is literally a matter of life and death, and the tragic events on July 13th remind us of that. I have full confidence in the men and women of the Secret Service.
All right.
They are worthy of our support. And
I carried it as a breaking news. I did my due diligence. She's reading from the script, and it was leaked, and I've read parts of it to you throughout the morning. So there she is, just basically, this is not a sport to say that, well, we've done a good job on more than 7,000 since January. This is not the Phillies, to say, well, gee, we lost one, but yeah, you know what? We won last night 6-0, so not for nothing. To me, I don't really want to hear anything other than her saying the worst failure happened under my watch. A man is dead under my watch. And we had, by an eighth of an inch and the grace of God, I suppose, we have a former president who's alive to talk about it. It happened under her watch. And so the fact that she's saying, not resigning, we've had 7,000 plus successes, and I'm not going to resign. And this is what I did after the fact. Well, of course you did. By the way, Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker praising Joe Biden's decision to drop out of his campaign. She says he put his country first. What's your reaction? Are you surprised to this? And then as well, I want to get to, can we have the audio of CNN's John King, who's getting ripped, by the way, as making a remark. Maybe is he saying the quiet part out loud as he's talking about Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, whose name is one of the top names if it's Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket now, which is what Joe Biden endorsed. And would it be a Shapiro as a vice presidential candidate? Would it be Harris Shapiro? So listen as John King, listen to what he says.
Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro is being discussed as one of Harris's potential running mates. He also endorsed her tonight. In your view, what are the pros and cons for putting him on the ticket?
Well, he's certainly under consideration. I know that from key Harris allies. He's a first-term governor. He's Jewish. There could be some risks in putting him on the ticket, but certainly some of our voters here in Pennsylvania said, hey, we like Governor Shapiro, give him a look. Also told Anderson that some other governors, Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, are on the list of the Harris team. One Harris ally told me today they hope to get her within a few days, assuming her path to the nomination continues to look good, and it does tonight, but we still have some question marks. They hope to get her a list, they say within several days to a week, of 4 or 5 names for her to pick from.
And then I wonder, if I'm on the Trump team, of course, I would rip into the fact that Shapiro promised in campaign promises, he promised to provide school vouchers, the Lifeline scholarships, and in fact, line item vetoed it. So a liar is what they're going to call him. Look, this guy lied on the campaign trail, promised this, and then 2 budgets failed to do that and failed to deliver on that promise, even though it was right there. It was right there in the budget, and he line item vetoed it because of the fact that we have the powerful teachers union. That's what's being reported here, that did not want it. So he agreed that he would line item veto it. So they'll rip into him only, like he says, a 2-year rookie, if you will, as a governor. There are many others on there, but some people saying that it's anti-Semitic because of states like Michigan, for example, where they have a huge vote that involves people who are pro-Palestine. How does that look? And then you have all of the younger voters, the so-called woke voters, who don't seem to really understand what happened October 7th, and that these were terrorists who banged down the doors of innocent civilians, mommies and daddies and babies, grandparents who were slaughtered in a terror attack. So they have to navigate through that. Some calling it racist and anti-Semitic. I don't think John King is anti-Semitic. I think he's trying to be honest to say that everything's on the table. They're going to look at all of it, and maybe people are just shocked that he would say the quiet part out loud, that they have to think of the vote of those who are anti-Israel and that they're worried about that. 855-839-1210. I will get to your calls around the corner. There's so much to talk about, so much developing. Be right back.
At the next Crash Proof event, you will learn how our proprietary Crash Proof retirement system includes inflation fighters that can increase your income up to 35% or more to fight rising costs without depleting your nest egg.
Geraldine Chiadetti from Warrington, Pennsylvania. Crash Proof puts a smile on my face every day. I sleep well, and it even put a bigger smile on my face today when I got my 13%. The interest we receive from Crash Proof is credited interest. I'm not worried about inflation one bit. We get Crash Proof income, but guess what? Your principal still doesn't go down because your interest from your money is making more money. When I was told we made 13%, my husband looked at me and I looked at him and we did the happy dance.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club on July 23rd, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Today we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission: to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Okay, we're going to monitor all the political happenings. We have reportedly in less than an hour, Kamala Harris will speak. Will Biden speak? Has anybody seen Biden? Hello? Joe Biden, where is he? He's the president of the United States of America. Haven't seen him. I know that FBI Director Chris Wray, as I reported this morning, he will be testifying as well, talking about answering all of these questions as far as national security concerns and answering as far as this 20-year-old shooter, the whistleblowers who are coming forward and claiming that, in fact, there were huge lapses in security. So that's going on. I want to pivot really quick to a story. I just want to get your take on this, and I'll take your calls, 855-839-1210. I don't know if you heard about this, but New Jersey, and this is so invasive. When you think about your parental rights, in New Jersey, they want to make it a requirement that they would have your baby's genes. I'm not talking about like blue jeans and hand-me-downs. Physically, your kids' genes, their DNA. And this kind of thing kind of freaks me out. I know that Reason.com, they have great stories, but this would be mandatory. Genomic sequencing of all newborn babies. But this is what New Jersey, progressive, far left, New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy, and health officials are considering adding this analysis to the state's mandatory newborn testing. So looking at the sequencing, genomic sequencing can determine a person's entire genetic makeup. And this, as part of the National Cancer Institute, that they're looking at this, saying that using genomic sequencing, doctors can actually diagnose diseases and diagnose abnormalities, reveal sensitivities to environmental stimulants, allergies, assess a person's risk of developing conditions, like Alzheimer's disease. Wow. I mean, again, if you as a parent decide that you want to put your child's pictures all over social media, which means that their facial recognition for the rest of their life will be out there with anybody free to have that, to possess that information. But for you as a parent, you have parental rights. If you want to put your kid's identity out there, you want to put their image and their face over the years, and you want to put them right out there for the public to see, then that's your right, right? But this is different. What they're discussing is, and they discussed this at a big meeting in New Jersey, newborn screening, and these committees are saying they will make this, they want to make this mandatory to put your kid's DNA, your kid's genetic information out there so that the government would have it and would have access up to it. Now, this has attracted, thank God, the rightful criticism from the civil liberties groups like the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, as well as the Institute for Justice. And what they're saying is that this is information about kids that could allow the state and other actors like the government to use that data to monitor and then surveil them and their families for the rest of their lives. So this was an attorney, and good for him. This was an attorney with the ACLU of New Jersey speaking out about this. But to me, this is the fact that they would even consider this, consider making this mandatory in the state of New Jersey. Wow, to me, that's scary. Again, if you, as a parent, you want to make it voluntary, okay, I have no problem with a pilot program that says, hey, let's allow parents voluntarily to turn over blood samples of their newborn babies and put them in the hands of the state and the government. Then you do that. You be you, okay? And they would then offer some free screening, right? And so if you want to do that, go for it. But I also wonder, what would parents be told? Because there's another part of this, I feel, that, you've just had a baby, newborn baby, there's a lot going on. And then how do they inform you? So they say, oh, we're taking some blood, doing some blood work. And in this, here's, it's one of those things, sign these forms. And do you ever notice they do that thing? It's like an old-fashioned Etch-a-Sketch. And so you can't even see your signature. And they go, and now you're consenting to blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, whatever. And you're sleep deprived. You just had a kid, right? Your wife just gave birth, or you yourself, you just gave birth as the mommy. And now they have you sign all this stuff. And you can't even see the paperwork. And so now how will they make this transparent? Will they really explain this? That you what you're signing for is that for the rest of your baby's life, your child's information, their genetic information, will be in the hands of the government, the state government of New Jersey, and thereby, well, it would be in the hands of the government. What could possibly go wrong, right? As Rich Scioli always says, what could possibly go wrong? Oh my gosh. And so in this, the state would hold on to those blood samples for 23 years. And from what we're being told, there would not be any legal restrictions on how those blood samples could be used. Holy moly, what a horrible idea. And so, and the Reason.com writes in this, in at least one instance, a newborn blood sample was used to tie the baby's father to a crime. This is according to the New Jersey Office of the Public Defender. Some states were found to be selling the blood samples to researchers or turning blood over to the Pentagon's DNA registry. What a shocker. Right now, New Jersey parents are seeking a court order requiring the state to return or destroy those blood samples taken from newborns, or to get informed consent from the parents to hold on to it. Here's a quote. The government cannot take your newborn's blood to test for diseases and then secretly keep it for 23 years and use it for other purposes without your consent. And this is a quote from a case that's ongoing right now. That's IG that I had referenced. And it's a case of some of the parents who are suing for their parental rights, that they feel like this was a sneaky move and that these parents were taken advantage of. So we'll follow this very carefully. But, on one hand, it's a blessing that we have science, and that if parents, especially if you have something in your family that's hereditary and you want to know from day one and maybe try to mitigate some of those situations for your child and your family, that's your business. But the fact that these parents are suing, the fact that they feel that they've been tricked and duped, and the fact that the state of New Jersey, and you wonder why the polls show that they're going against the blue, which I don't even think it's blue. It's against a radical, progressive political situation under the direction of Governor Phil Murphy right now. This is not the traditional Democrat Party. This is a far left radical movement that really even goes beyond like communists. I think even communists would go, whoa, this is far, far left, this progressive movement. And so a lot of people, that's why we see more and more people leaving the Democrat Party, because they're saying, boy, I don't recognize these guys. And certainly, number one, union jobs. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. We'll talk more about it for sure. So much to discuss. 855-839-1210. We'll return to the political side. Get your take. You'll hear more Trump highlights, all the lowlights. Speaking of highlights, have you seen some of the deals? I want you to just think about this and just picture this. One look at its beauty, it is undeniable. This vehicle I'm about to talk about, this is one of the most stunning vehicles on the roadways right now, and an amazing deal to boot. This is the new 2024 Tonale from Alfa Romeo of Wilmington Pike. It is built with that iconic grille and those wheels. If you see it, it just looks amazing. The wheels with those large 5-hole wheels that I'm talking about. For your convenience, you'll find a hands-free power liftgate, a 10-inch touchscreen, keyless entry, wireless charging pad, brilliant LED adaptive lights, and a power moonroof. This thing is stunning. For a limited time right now, you can lease a Tonale TI all-wheel drive for just $299 per month, $299 per month for 24 months. You want to do this. If you're thinking about it, do it. Visit Alfa Romeo of Wilmington Pike in Chadds Ford for all the details. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Breaking news, we are officially over $20,000. $20,736. The person who donated, hello?
Hi, it's Linda Kearns.
Linda.
Honestly, Corey Comfortori left behind 2 children, really in honor of him. Making Greg miserable is just a side benefit for me that I will enjoy immensely the entire week.
Linda, you are an absolute angel. Thank you so much.
You are an angel.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Get ready to hit it out of the park every time you fire up the grill this summer with Hatfield. Swing into action with Hatfield's variety of marinated pork, ground pork and sausage, ham, bacon, and your favorite Hatfield Phillies Franks. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, Hatfield pork is food you'll feel good about serving. From home or at the ballpark, find your flavor with Hatfield, the official pork provider of the Phillies. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and to find a retailer near you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Get ready for a gift from Rescue Natural Supplements. It's their Christmas in July sale. That's right, the season of giving is making a summer comeback with huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. Treat yourself with savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and so much more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Shop savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure, cholesterol, low energy, testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over. Unwrap the joy of a healthier you at res-q.com. Do it today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Don't let woke win. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
At this very moment, Democrat Party bosses are frantically trying to overthrow the results of their own party's primaries to dump crooked Joe Biden from the ballot. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And as you're seeing, the Democrat Party is not the party of democracy. They're really the enemies of democracy, the parties of corrupt insiders like Whitmer, special interests, and the failed political class. That's what they are. Under our leadership, the Republican Party is now the party of the people. We're the party of hardworking Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed.
So do you believe that? Do you believe that there has been a switch with the parties? I hear so many people saying that, and especially people who have traditionally they've been a Democrat. They've identified, maybe this is a trans movement, political trans movement, where we see many people who say, yes, I'm a traditional Democrat, but my party has left me, and I'm for a party that especially is for working people, for union workers. So a couple of things. First and foremost, when we think about the electric vehicles and you think about Kamala Harris and which sound bites do we air of her as she talks about she loves electric buses and she loves the EVs. Well, we now know absolutely these EVs over time, they will eliminate jobs, union jobs. We know that. And the unions have been quite clear. I don't care whatever union managers say. Union workers see the writing on the wall. And so is that part of it? Now, Trump got the union vote 2016. Biden got the union vote 2020. This time around, I think the union vote, after all the lies and all of that, I think Trump will get the union vote. That's what I see. Do you agree or disagree? And then for Kamala Harris, I'm not even sure that she's the actual pick. I think it's curious that even though Joe Biden endorsed Kamala Harris, his vice president, Obama has been quiet and released more of an open, ambiguous statement. So what are they really plotting here? I don't think we have a clear picture from the Democrats. I think they do have a plan. And I actually think that the Democrats knew that this was going to be a problem. that it was going to come out. It would have to come out during the debates. And so by choosing that unprecedented debate in June, I think the Democrats all along knew that there was the possibility. So they figured, well, let's get this out there. Let's just flesh this out. Let's get it out. And if Joe Biden if he messes up in the debate, let it happen. And then we'll be able to fix it. We'll have time to react. And I said this prior to that debate in late June. If you remember, I was saying this on Kale and Company. I said it here. And so I still stick with that. I think that they were worried about the fact that they had been covering this up for a very long time, and they felt that he was slipping to the point that if they had regular debates that were in the late summer after both conventions, they would be stuck and that it would be a disaster. And so they were trying to mitigate all the damage of that. And if that's true, then that's horrible. But again, it's the Democrats taking care of, throwing their own eating their own, if you will, throwing them under the bus so that they can regroup, revamp, and try to move toward victory November 5th. Because they will do anything to win. And they will get everybody, including the mainstream media, in line with them prior to November 5th. That's what they're doing. They're going to line up. So believe me, if Kamala, if she does not do well in not just the polls that we see, but they do their own internal polling and they look very carefully. If they think that she can't win it and that she hurts down ticket, then they're going to boot her. It's a cold-blooded business. 855-839-1210. All right. I don't see anything breaking with regard to Kimberly Cheadle. The Secret Service had the Biden, choice to head the Secret Service. I don't see anything breaking on that. We're still monitoring it. She's still up there. A lot of pontificating with politicians on both sides talking. So we carried, we carried, I think, the important piece of it. We'll continue to watch it. If anything breaks on that front, we will bring it to you live. But there is a lot more breaking, and you're not going to miss a thing right here on The Dawn Show at Dawn Stensland on X. Be right back.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Inflation fears started in 2021. The warning signs were everywhere. But Senator Bob Casey ignored the warnings and sided with the liberals in Washington, voting for trillions in reckless, wasteful spending. And all that reckless spending made inflation worse, driving up prices on almost everything you buy. Now, Pennsylvania families are paying the price for Senator Casey's reckless spending. Our state's been hit the hardest by higher prices. With Senator Casey's reckless spending, grocery prices are up 25%. Rent, it's up 21%. And electricity's up 29%. Senator Casey helped create this mess. And now, Pennsylvania families are struggling to make ends meet. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, and fight against inflationary government spending. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, it's John Ashell, the Car Czar from Colonial Hyundai. Summer is racing by, and while we wish it didn't go so fast, we're speeding things up here at Colonial. We're nearing the finish line of our construction, and Hyundai has challenged us to sell every vehicle in stock before the grand opening. That's 200 vehicles gone by July 31st. To do so, we're offering up to 20% off any new Hyundai in stock every day of July. Also, we're offering the highest trade-in values in the region, even giving you $6,500 for your trade, no matter the condition. Guaranteed. It's the race to 200 cars at Colonial Hyundai, and during this event, we're willing to do whatever whatever it takes to reach the finish line of selling every vehicle in stock. We even have financing as low as 0% for 60 months available. Every new vehicle at Colonial Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain, and Hyundai Assurance. Don't get left. Be part of the team as we race to 200 cars sold and save big. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com or visit us on Route 30 in Downtown. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai.
Up to 20% off dealer listed price. Includes all rebates and incentives. Offer cannot be combined. Offer ends 8/3. See dealer for more details.
Two legends, one can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. Is there any better time than summer grilling season for a cold Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke in a can. Born for the backyard. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniels Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
There are new details about Secret Service security failures. One of the headlines this morning as the Secret Service head, Kimberly Cheadle, is in the hot seat before the House answering for the worst day in, well, the Secret Service's history under their watch in more than 40 years after the assassination attempt of former President Donald J. Trump, which ended deadly for 50-year-old Corey Comparator and as well the injuries of two others. Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania's governor, in the headlines nationally this morning. But as far as these reported Secret Service security failures, they're being revealed as we hear from whistleblowers who are coming forward, and as well the documentation that describes how agents allowed an armed guard with 3 arrests to ride in an elevator back in the day with then President Obama. So really, as this is happening, there are others who are pushing forward other instances where they say the Secret Service has had failures going back many years, and now this is being called out by a congressional watchdog group that we're hearing about. These things didn't make the headlines until now, but all of these different watchdog groups, all these different advocacy groups are coming forward saying, man, we've had real problems here over the years. So just moments ago, we know that Jim Jordan, who, by the way, these are the days when he is at his best, to watch these different hearings and really putting the feet to the fire, so to speak. But let's listen to this interaction with Jim Jordan speaking out and ripping into the Secret Service head put there by Joe Biden.
The president and the vice president.
Talk to the First Lady?
No, I have not.
Talk to the White House staff? Anyone in the White House communications?
No, I have not.
Have you talked to the counter sniper who took the shot that took out the bad guy?
Yes, I have.
And can you tell us about that conversation?
I would not want to reveal conversations that I've had with my employees.
But that's exactly the kind of information the American people want to know. American people who pay your salary.
I understand. This is an ongoing investigation. And
Who's all doing the investigating at Secret Service? I know the Inspector General, but is there also an internal investigation in addition to the Inspector General?
We are conducting a mission assurance investigation internally, yes.
You know what it looks like, Director? It looks like you won't answer some pretty basic questions. It looks like you got a 9% raise and you cut corners when it came to protecting one of the most important individuals, most well-known individuals on the planet. A former president, likely the guy's going to be the next president. Looks like you guys were cutting corners. That's what it looks like to me.
So that was that back and forth. Tough day for her. You know, this is a day where, and I know recently you actually had Raskin who was speaking. So early on, you heard from James Comer. So you always have the Republican on one side, the Democrat, the leading Democrat on the other side. They came together. They agreed that they would have today's hearing.
Former President Trump.
Okay, go ahead.
Former
Jamie
President
Raskin.
Trump escaped this AR-15 attack. Unlike so many thousands of our fellow citizens who have been killed or seriously wounded in other AR-15 shootings. Whether this miracle is of divine providence or of an adventitious nature will be up to each of us to ponder, but our job in Congress is not simply to marvel at miracles or count on good luck, but to act as public policy legislators to do whatever we can to prevent future political violence.
Yeah, so the other piece of this, you know what I was thinking about, was that they had that rangefinder that he was allowed to have, and now we're learning that you're allowed to have them at rallies. I think of going to concerts, going to Eagles games, Phillies games. You know, you generally you can't have a big backpack. If you have a backpack, it has to be clear if you can have one at all. Certain concerts and venues, you're not allowed to have an umbrella. So if you're not allowed to have an umbrella at many sporting events, let's just say, or you're not allowed to have a certain size backpack, you know, I just would think, why would they allow these rangefinders? Why don't they just put restrictions on what you can bring into a rally? Doesn't that seem like a good idea? And that way, if you see somebody who you think is suspicious, it just gives you more reason, more probable cause to stop them, question them, and then confiscate something like, you know, something that would measure the distance between a presidential candidate and former president and a potential shooter. Like, I would think that would be common sense, since I've been at venues where they confiscate certain things, or they confiscate your umbrella. 855-839-1210. I'm just asking for a friend. And then the other piece of it, another story that came out, was that this gun enthusiast, I'll get to your calls in 1 second, but I just want to say this. This Pennsylvania gun enthusiast revealing that he practiced shooting with the wannabe assassin who wanted to take out Trump, and in fact took the life of a very good Pennsylvania man, Corey Comparator. But in this case, this is a man, Bill Jenkins, U.S. Air Force veteran, 63 years young, and he's speaking out. He said he signed up for the same handgun class. It's a Pistol 2 class at the Keystone Shooting Center in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. Signed up for it in June. It was like June 22nd, okay? And only 2 people signed up for it. Bill Jenkins and the other guy is this 20-year-old Matthew Crooks. So they sign up for the course and they take the course. And he's speaking out saying one of his quotes is, "I was sitting next to evil." He said, "I haven't been able to stop thinking about this." Saying this guy killed a man along with his wife and kids, referring to the former fire chief, husband, father, Corey Comparator. And then Mr. Jenkins says that this scumbag almost plunged the country into chaos when he tried to kill former President Donald J. Trump. He first says that when he met the now dead wannabe guy, so Mr. Jenkins says that he could tell this kid was confident with guns. He says, when we went to the range, he just started shooting right away. It seemed like he had experience with weapons. He went on to note that when they were practicing shooting a target at 10 yards away, that the wannabe, I'm not even saying his name, I'm just calling him the wannabe, quote, blew a big hole right through the centerpiece. Mr. Jenkins says, I congratulated him on how good he'd done, and he just laughed. He says that their instructor then returned to the classroom, and the conversation became political. So he says the instructor and Jenkins, who's the man who's being interviewed, he says, we were Trump supporters. We are Trump supporters. And we talked about how our country was good under Trump. Our borders were secure. The economy was strong. We were energy independent. Trump got things done. And then Mr. Jenkins, who, like I say, is the military veteran in this class, said that he noticed that the kid, the 20-year-old, was not saying anything one way or another, but I could see him smirking. He had a little smile. Mr. Jenkins says that he didn't think anything of it at the time. He believed that this was just a quiet kid. That's what he calls him. But he says, looking back, I think he was biting his tongue. Nothing we discussed will have sat well with him. It has crossed my mind. Did that conversation help push him over the edge? As a motive for the shooting remains unclear. And he says that it freaks him out because a person has died, referring to the former fire chief, Corey Comparator. For a few days, Mr. Jenkins says he didn't realize at first that the guy who opened fire at the Trump rally was the very same one that he had trained beside just a few weeks before. It was only when the Pittsburgh field office of the FBI called me. So they called him because they knew, when they realized that there was a gun class, because they're tracking everything down. So they called him and said, hey, do you realize the other guy in the class with you was the assailant who shot at Trump? And he says that he just flipped out. So he did the interview with the FBI and told them everything that he could. So this kid was taking gun classes, had these special bank accounts, had a drone, flew the drone before the rally. Wow. This is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, this story and this interview. 855-839-1210 as we think about this. And then just to think about this is because Trump has said it's not just about him. He's right. Because we now know from all the reports that this shooter, this gunman, this 20-year-old was planning, and he had explosives. He had a second phone. He had these IEDs. Did he have a plan to blow up the crowd with tens of thousands of people? By all accounts, it sounds like 55,000+ people. And this was a massive failure on the part of this administration. They were in charge. Joe Biden, this is this blood is on his hands, as I say. And was this hatred against MAGA supporters? And who fueled that more than President Joe Biden during that rally, which I still think about this, standing in Philadelphia using United States Marines as props with that weird red lighting and that Darth Biden message, basically saying, oh, those MAGA, not just Trump, but it was against MAGA, extreme, danger to democracy. They fueled this with their rhetoric, dangerous rhetoric. Who's the real danger here? 855-839-1210 is the number to call. Let's get to, is this Frank? Hey, Frank.
Hey, Dawn. Golly, I didn't call about the gunman, but, just a quick comment on that. When does, systemic incompetence become, intent? And I'm not saying, because I really do believe, for the most part, that everybody that's involved with protecting the president is good, but it just seems there were just way too many points of incompetence, And again, I didn't call for that. I just, I don't know. There's a lot of questions in my head still, and hopefully a lot will be answered today.
Yeah.
The thing you were saying before, I really think that sometimes you give, too much credit to the Democrat Party when you were saying almost like, well, they knew that there was a risk. They put him up. No, he was up there in the debate specifically because they knew that it would justify candidate replacement. He's losing in all the polls, and nothing that the Democrats do is by accident. I mean, they're like 10 steps ahead of us all the time, and I think they knew that there was no way he was going to be able to deal with a free-form debate, and that was just justification for taking him out. God's honest truth, I believe that.
Yeah, that was my point. So if I did not make it articulately, that's on me. But that was my exact point. And so going.
Okay, I'm sorry that.
Yeah, no.
I'm
glad you called because maybe I didn't say it, articulately enough. That this was something that even on Kale and Company in the morning with Greg and Nick, I was saying I was suspicious that this was the earliest debate in our nation's history, that they would debate in June. We've never even done that before. And I was just I'm like, why all of a sudden did they want to debate so early, way before even the RNC? Why is that?
Oh, you're right. And you know what's weird? And I know I shouldn't even think like this, but I have this really apprehensive feeling that there's another shoe to drop somewhere. Because I swear, it's like there's something else that's going to happen before this election. That's all I can say.
Oh
anyway, thanks, Dawn. I love your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for calling. Really appreciate you, Frank. Charlie in Philadelphia. Hey, Charlie.
Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
Charlie.
I like to echo what the last guy just said. I feel the same way about that. You just can't relax because they have these supercomputers. They might be 2 years ahead of us right now. You know what I mean? You just don't know. I mean, thank God that this kid was after Trump and not the crowd. Can you imagine if he was some hater from North Korea or Iran or Albania or somewhere and just wanted to kill people? I mean, he was way ahead of these Secret Service. I mean, it scares the heck out of me that this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the kid flying a drone around, that doesn't send up a red flag. Hey, there's a guy on a roof with a gun. That don't send up a red flag. I mean, what is wrong with these people that they have in there? I don't know. It really bothers me. I don't know what this country's coming to. But then the woman, she sounded so arrogant about that they're doing everything right and proud to be. And you know what I mean? It's really a crazy world. But what do you do about it? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Put her on trial for incompetence or something? It's not going to happen,
Yes.
How can you change anything? You know what I mean? You sit there, it's like you feel like just going out and getting drunk and forgetting about everything. I don't know. You really do sometimes. You can't do that. I mean, you got to stay in there. But like he was saying, they always seem like they're steps ahead. Like everything that happened, be part of this plan that they had figured out with an artificial intelligence computer on how to win the election. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sure Trump has the money for that stuff too. But they got the government's full of computers and everything.
It's just such a crazy, surreal time. And you even think about Friday when we last talked. And Friday was the funeral for Corey Comparator, where the private funeral service. And we were talking about all of that and everything that was breaking then. And over the weekend, just fast-moving developments where Sunday afternoon, then Biden gets the word out. Now, we haven't seen, to my knowledge, I don't think President Joe Biden, he's still the president, even though he's not campaigning, because I think some people think he's out. No. He's the president of the United States of America. He's still commander-in-chief, but he dropped out of the race. And so this after even Obama reportedly had said that he should, Joe Biden reportedly feeling betrayed. So he releases this on his private stationery because it's a campaign decision. He's careful not to release this information on the official White House stationery because that, of course, would fuel calls for him to step down. And we're hearing 25th Amendment. So I don't think he'll step down. I think he will stay in place. Then there were others on social media saying, well, what if if Joe Biden stepped down, then that would make Kamala Harris the 47th president. Then that would force Trump to change everything to be a 48. So I saw Rich Scioli, who's just recovering after an awesome job, of course, covering the RNC. But Rich Scioli said, hey, shh, don't give him any ideas. Back to the accused shooter. And I thank you for, thank you for calling, Charlie. We do have this, and I want to get to this really quick, is that the review of the wannabe, as I call him, the killer he is a killer because he killed Corey Comparator, but the wannabe assassin, the review of his phone, according to the authorities, say that he was searching for information such as not just Donald J. Trump, but also President Joe Biden, also FBI Director Christopher Wray, who testifies Wednesday morning, also Attorney General Merrick Garland, and the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton. He also was looking up and researching major depressive disorder, which we've heard some doctors say that he fits, this wannabe fits that description, that he had a major disorder and that he fits the standard model of a mass shooter with somebody who was isolated, bullied, and all of that. So, we'll continue the conversation, but the fact that he, in fact, was searching others, we should think about that. Who else would he have targeted? And the other piece of it, and some of you have so brilliantly brought this up, what about the fact that the Secret Service knew, reportedly, of this active threat from Iran? And they certainly know from Chris Wray releasing that information, remember, where he said that hundreds of, and they have the finite number of these hundreds of so-called gotaways who were on that list of wanted terrorists, and that they had rounded up about 300, that left about 100 that they know of who are still out there. Gee, I would think if you have a huge rally out here in Pennsylvania, why wouldn't you also think about the fact that there's a reasonable sense that you're going to a rally where the feds, where the Secret Service is offering protection. And there's a reasonable conclusion that you as a rally goer, that you think you're safe. And so they failed to answer that. They failed to keep the entire group. Secret Service, they're heading up security. I know it's for the candidate. I know it's for Trump. But didn't they have also a reasonable obligation to say, you know what, we want to make sure everybody's safe, and since we have the highest level of, security information and security threats, and we know that there are these foreign entities that are threatening us from terrorist nations or terrorist groups, etc., don't you think they would have gone to those extra lengths to, look for things? Like drones, somebody operating a drone before the rally. Don't you think they would have said, you know what, we're going to make this a no-fly zone, meaning drones as well, for, 2 days before? Why didn't they? Either they're incompetent or ... 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Get ready for a huge politics and pints as Talk Radio 1210 welcomes Donald Trump Jr. It's Tuesday, July 30th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Join Dom Giordano and Donald Trump Jr. as they talk the election, recent events, and all things Trump. Your ticket includes a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Don't count on summer heat to melt away those extra pounds. That doesn't work. But here's something that does work, and that's NJ Diet. For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379. 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands? Done. Groceries? Got 'em. It's a good time to give yourself a reward. You know the one. Your favorite tasty cake treat. Is it the delicious crimpet or the mouthwatering candy cake? No matter where you are, choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, accept no substitutes.
July is the month to save big. With financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months. Come to TurnersvilleJeep.com and get an incredible 0% APR for up to 84 months on select models. Or make no payments for 90 days. TurnersvilleJeep.com has over 450 vehicles available for immediate delivery. The ride you want is what we've got. So drive a little, save a lot. TurnersvilleJeep.com, your premier tri-state Jeep, Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Wagoneer dealer.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
So more DJT. Donald J. Trump. I know Kamala Harris is expected to speak out today. There's so much. I think J.D. Vance, about 1:30 during the Dom show, he's holding his first rally. Trump is expected to speak later on, maybe on Fox, maybe on an interview show, or maybe just his own news conference, as we have so much to report to you, all of these different probes and investigations focusing on Pennsylvania, what went wrong, and a demand for answers. On a lighter note, and Henry Meshett and our own Jimmy Kelly, can you play this audio of, and I love this kind of mashup between a TV Veep, the show Veep, with and then they edited together, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But they edited together the difference between Kamala Harris, the real life Veep, and the TV show Veep.
Yeah, am I up?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, all right, I couldn't hear myself. Yeah, it's odd how kind of the show Veep and how it's kind of like almost repeating itself in real life. Like life's imitating art, or art is imitating life. It's weird.
My fellow Americans, words have many meanings, and sometimes instead of conveying our meaning, they can suggest other meanings.
When we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community.
Well, we are the United States of America because we are united. And we are states.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Whatever we have in store cannot be known. The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Obesity is a serious disease, and it needs to be taken seriously.
You need to get to go, and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
I hope that clarifies the issue, and this can be the last word on those words.
Certain issues are just settled.
Clearly we're not.
No, that's right, and that's why I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled times.
You can't make this stuff up, am I
I'm
right?
completely confused right now. What does this button do? Does this fire off commercials? Does this turn? I'm confused.
Which one was Kamala and which one was Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
I know, right? That who put that, and I should have given credit. Who put it together? Because we have to give.
I've seen that
was
clip go
brilliant.
around for a few years now because those are a lot of old sound bites.
Really?
Of Kamala too. Yeah.
I've never seen that. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah, I think it's just resurfacing now because it's it's too easy.
By the way, how was your fancy trip? Where did you go again?
Punta Cana.
Nice.
Look at you.
Yeah.
So I told my husband, he's like, "Where's Henry?" I'm like, "He's tropical vacation, lovely." Like I live vicariously through Henry.
Yeah, I try to take a few trips every year. So
Nice.
Yeah, this was a nice one.
I remember when you first were on, and Rich Zioli was trying to come up with a nickname, and I think the first nickname was something about Vacation Henry.
Yeah, Henry VIII Vacation. Because I took like a week off one time.
Wow.
Jimmy Kelly, did you go anywhere tropical like Henry? What are we doing wrong here, Jimmy?
I don't know what we're doing wrong. I mean, hey, if you want to go somewhere tropical, hey, I'm all with it. Pack the sunscreen and the spackle and knives. I'm with you, but.
Oh man, did I get burnt?
Oh really?
You did?
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir here, Henry. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, my shoulders are fried.
Really?
Oh, don't even.
Don't even go there.
Right?
With me.
But were you affected? You were
I get burnt standing waiting for the bus. Are you kidding me?
in January.
In January, yeah.
Were you affected by Friday's mass, that whole outage?
Oh, totally. Because it's affected, I think, PHL more than like any other airport. It seems like.
Oh no,
So-
no! It was worldwide.
Well, I
but
know it was worldwide,
New York,
but I think they're still like the flights that were coming into Philly.
Okay.
I think they were like really
Bad.
damaged by that.
'Cause they were saying New York. Seemed like it was East Coast.
Yeah, because what I was reading this morning, it seems like PHL is still having a hard time getting back.
That's
crazy. Yeah,
I think Zioli and Matt were.
So when that,
Yeah.
when I woke up Friday morning and I saw that news, I went, "Oh no, that's going to be a problem for me." And lo and behold, it was. My flight got canceled, so I had to scramble and figure out like, "Oh man, how am I going to get home?"
Nice place to be stuck.
Yeah, nice place to be stuck, but the reservation was up Sunday morning, so I had to figure out something quick. And eventually, I got a flight back to Newark and trekked it back from there.
Crazy. Yeah, I know. To Jimmy's point, Zioli and Matt DeSantis, they were stuck. They were stranded, I think.
I think so.
Their flights, because I was trying to get him to call in Friday morning, and they were dealing with all the craziness.
Right. I that was another thing. Like trying to find another flight, trying to find another ticket. If your flight's canceled, the manual check-in, even if your flight was still on. It was terrible.
They said Apple wasn't affected. It just affected.
Yeah, it was a Windows thing.
It was a Windows thing.
Microsoft Windows. I still don't understand how that happened. That they say it was. And here's the thing: with everything going on over the past few years, I don't believe anything anymore.
No, like, what was the story they were pushing? That someone submitted the code wrong.
Yeah. Do you believe really?
Like, you didn't double check your work.
It was off by a digit.
Do you believe that?
And it shut down everything. I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe it's I tend to believe incompetence before conspiracy, but it seems a little too good to be true.
I'm still gonna go with that story that I did, and that was when I woke up in the wee hours of Friday morning, and I realized we had this going on. Now I have Apple products, so initially, like I still have my iPhone, all that, but I thought of Trump speaking out, and I thought, all right, who did he made the Russians mad? And so I put in DuckDuckGo, Trump. I put Trump pissed off Russians. That's what I put in, and what came up was the story of the Russian company Kaspersky. That was the first thing that came up.
Kaspersky.
That morning. And so in late June, this was a French news source that came up, not in the United States. That's weird too, right? But it was a weird, and I think only if I had done the search the way I did, but it was the company Kaspersky, which the U.S. had unveiled the sanctions, and this is late June initially. And they were banning the sale of the popular antivirus software on national security grounds. And this was something that during the Trump's administration was onto all of this, saying, why are we letting a Russian software firm, and we as Americans are downloading this stuff. So that's when this all started, but then it was taking effect later on. I'm thinking there's a Kaspersky lab connection. I'm calling Kaspersky.
Sounds like a plot for a movie.
I know, right? So,
Mr. Kaspersky, you are here to download software. More sweaty squirrel.
Thank you, Jimmy Kelly. All right, 855-839-1210. We're talking, do you believe in the Kaspersky conspiracy theory? What do you think happens next? Do you think any of this does it matter to you? Do you think that whether it's Kamala, Shapiro, who they may, Mark Kelly, Arizona, all these different names in play, whether it's North Carolina's governor, Cooper, whether it's Kentucky's governor, Bashir, do you think any of this matters at the top of the ticket? Or do you think that the bottom line is that what we really saw over the weekend was Democrats admitting defeat? Trump beat Biden. Boom. Is that the bottom line? Trump beat Biden. Democrats say you're a loser. Yes, we concede defeat. We lost the battle, but we're still trying to win the war. What's your take on all these fast-breaking developments? 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, he wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at OurRealSuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
Are you dealing with tax debt or unfiled tax returns and don't know how to make the problem go away? Is just the thought of dealing with the IRS giving you a panic attack? Let Legal Tax Defense take the pressure off of you. All tax relief companies are not the same, and all tax problems are complex and different. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, the experienced tax attorneys and licensed enrolled agents can resolve the toughest cases. For over 15 years, Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating settlements for individuals and businesses just like you. All of their online ratings are A+. Even if you've received a threatening notice from the IRS, facing a wage garnishment, or have had your bank account levied, it's not too late to call Legal Tax Defense for a free, no-risk consultation. Get peace of mind and security knowing you hired the best. fast. Call Legal Tax Defense at 800-962-2403. 800-962-2403. That's 800-962-2403.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
So much breaking this hour. Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro, front and center in national news coverage as his name widely reported as a candidate for the VP, after, of course, President Joe Biden dropped out of the race, meaning he's dropping out of campaigning. And Biden said that Kamala Harris, he named her as his successor. But former President Obama is not naming her or anybody, and had some rather cryptic wording that Obama was saying. So not naming Kamala. So is this, again, a move by Democrats to try to pick who they want, who they think will be successful? I don't know, but we're watching all of it. And by the way, the VP, Kamala Harris, she's expected to make these remarks. So we have these conversations all the time. You know, we're having these conversations behind the scenes. Jimmy saying, Kamala's going to speak, and she's on NBC. Do you want me to take this? And then Henry, what did you say, Henry?
I said she's not going to speak soon. I mean, it's this administration's MO not to come on time. So why would they start today?
So just as Henry said, she was supposed to speak at 11:30. There's a big crowd that you can see, or, you know, seated, that she was scheduled to speak. Everybody's sitting there in the heat, in the humidity, and what's going on? Describe the scene. What do you see?
Just looks like a lot of college athletes sitting and waiting in silence. You know, some murmuring.
Some murmuring?
Yeah.
Now, what was this? What was she supposed to be speaking
I
at?
believe she's speaking to, I think it's champion college athletes in the NCAA. Let me look more into that.
All right.
I think that's the gist of it.
So
looks like it's going to rain any minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like so humid. It's hot. It's going to pour rain with the scattered showers. I feel sorry for the NBC reporter, Kelly O'Donnell, who, by the way, Kelly was an intern. My husband knew her. She was an intern back in the day locally at NBC, and now she's, you know, obviously been there a long time.
Is there anybody you don't know?
I know.
Is there anybody you don't know or don't have a connection to? Or I knew this person back in the day when they were on NBC, and I knew this other one. But hey, look, I have the same stories because that's where I met Larry. Was at NBC 10. So
it's, you know, my husband always says Dawn would talk to a wrong number if somebody called, like, hello. Although not that none of us answer anymore. No. But it's significant because Vice President Harris is this is the first public appearance that we've seen since Biden, obviously yesterday afternoon, dropped out. So it's a first. And so that's part of the reason this is significant and historic. She's appearing with college athletes in what's scheduled to be, I mean, it was pre-scheduled, obviously. It's an annual event, NCAA championship teams. And speaking at the event, it's College Athlete Day. So that was last year. So she spoke last year and then this year as well. So, but here's the thing, to Henry's point, you have all of these athletes. It's a big event with college students. and 11:42, and now she is showing up. I just think that's rude, isn't it? To show up like almost 15 minutes late for this major appearance. To me, I think that's horrible and rude. And so I just, I think that's a contrast of, is she even up there? Because I can't see it. It's far away.
No.
She's not even up there. So they've started the program. Presumably, hopefully she's behind stage so they can get underway. But now I do see some people rising. So are they standing for her? I think because they're taking photos. I'm assuming Trump's not there. Trump should, you know what? Wouldn't it be awesome if Trump just showed up? Excuse me. Obviously, Kamala's late again. So let me just...
Excuse me, Kamala, she's late again. I mean, I don't understand this. Okay, I'm not showing Farash. I know that, but hey, Kamala's late again, of course. You know, she doesn't have a good Apple Watch. You got to get one of these. These are great, aren't they? They're unbelievable. Yeah, I don't like people being late. I mean, you know what? If you're an hour early, that's good. But, lateness, I can't take it. I can't deal with it.
So we're seeing everybody's taking the stage for these are female athletes. I hope that will we see the Veep declare that she's going to protect women in sports since we have these female athletes.
I'm actually standing at attention waiting right now.
You are?
I'll represent the show and stand at attention.
They're all standing. They're still talking.
Yeah.
Is Kamala there yet? I see a
she's
lot
up there. She's not speaking.
She is. Oh, I do see her now.
She is up there, yeah.
So she's up there. She's smiling. Earlier, she released a written statement saying, quote, I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination. So this is Harris at this, and this was a planned event, NCAA, mostly women athletes on the stage, but presumably she'll actually intro Harris. And then Harris will maybe talk about her Venn diagrams, how she loves electric buses. I'm being silly, but we've got all of it covered for you. And then I'll remind you, ongoing this morning still is the Secret Service Director, Kim Cheadle. She's still on the hot seat, but I can tell you she has been drinking more bottled water than Marco Rubio after a presidential speech. So I don't know. She's going to have to go to the bathroom sooner or later. We got it all covered. There are some other major breaking details. We'll get to them around the corner.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. I want to tell you about a huge Politics and Pints, really huge. I'm bringing to town on July 30th to the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey, Don Trump Jr. We'll talk the election, State of the Union, all the recent events, cash bar, soft drinks, wine, and the like. You don't want to be shut out on this one. Don Trump Jr. Go to 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com. Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Get your child or grandchild ready for back to school. The summer is a great time to call Kathy Ganna and METC. Get a game plan in place for a great start to the new school year. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. And now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
La 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 la. Oops.
Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Bring on the summer heat with huge savings when you replace your old inefficient windows and doors with the great people at Guida Door and Window. Right now, Guida is offering their best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. Have drafty windows you've been meaning to replace? Well, you receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple-pane windows. In need of new doors? Well, Guida's got you covered there as well, with 40% off all high-quality entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can start your project with no money out of pocket and pay it off interest-free for up to 18 full months. Don't let these incredible savings pass you by. Go Guida right now so you can take advantage of these limited time savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires July 31st, so call Guida today. Schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
For all you do to support these extraordinary student athletes. And it is good to be here with so many leaders,
Kamala Harris
including,
speaking.
Of course, members of Congress, members of our administration, and our extraordinary athletes. Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast, and he looks forward to getting back on the road. And I wanted to say a few words about our president. Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history.
Well, that's true.
In one term, he has already, yes,
brought down the country.
In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office. And I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We worked together as attorneys general in our states, and back then, Beau would often tell me stories about his dad. He would talk about the kind of father and the kind of man that Joe Biden is. The qualities that Beau revered in his father are the same qualities that I have seen every day in our president. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
So there she is. By the way, the Pennsylvania Democratic Party chair, headline here, Democratic Party chair in Pennsylvania plans to convene a vote to endorse Kamala Harris. So that here in Pennsylvania, just to bring you the local angle of this. But Kamala Harris speaking to the student athletes, this was planned. And I would say, well, we can agree on something, as she says. He's done something that's, well, you might say that's historic. Yes, historic disasters. Whether you look at historic numbers of criminals or believed criminals, according to Chris Wray, we'll hear the update, coming across the border and then putting ankle bracelets on them, the open border, the economy, inflation. Gee, what am I leaving out? Gas prices, jobs. Let's talk about jobs leaving in droves. Man, fill in the blank. The disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Let us not forget that. We could go on and on. So the fact that they're trying to spin this and say, oh, he's one of the greatest presidents in history, well, then you don't know history. Look up the facts for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But there is Kamala, And it's a joke to me that she's speaking as well to student athletes. You know, I would love to hear somebody ask her about student athletes and protecting women and girls in sports. How about that? Remember, Donald J. Trump, that was one of the questions that I had asked him when he had called into Kale & Company. It feels like a year ago, but it was only weeks ago. And I had asked him about the Title IX, rulings and the Title IX executive orders that Biden put into place his first day in office. Even going further, further left than Obama even. And Trump said, day one, we'll get rid of all that. We'll protect girls in sports. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but that was one of the questions that I had for President Trump, asking him about local school boards that are trying to deal with this issue. Because remember, we haven't talked in a while, but these Title IX rules were set to go into effect this summer. And that local school boards who had really made provisions for, let's say, a kid who's going through something and they need a private bathroom, whatever that may be. And so out of sensitivity, but that doesn't matter, that they're being told, if you do not allow a person who identifies as a biological male, or a biological female, even though they were born a male, and you disallow them from going into a girl's locker room, then you're not going to get Title IX federal dollars. That's what Biden is saying, among other things. And so when you think about that and how unfair that is, and girls and young women speaking out about it, and you've heard me interview many of them on this show, some of their parents calling in. We've talked about it. That's something that is a huge issue. And by the way, Kamala Harris is even further left than Joe Biden. So if you don't like the policies of Biden, well, look at Kamala Harris. Look at her record. She's even further left than Joe Biden. Oh, my goodness. Nobody's going to talk about it. They're going to make her seem like Mamala. They'll bring that up. She's a stepmom. She's a Mamala. That's what her stepkids call her. And she was married, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, I think. So her stepchildren, when she married Doug Emhoff, are grown, by the way. So let us not forget about that. But they'll try to paint her as this nice, normal mom who is a law and order president against that, that convicted felon. What a hot mess. There's so much developing and so much as we continue throughout the day. You want to stick right there. I know J.D. Vance, I believe, is holding a rally at 1:30. We're expecting so many new developments today, and to learn more, and that's why it's important that you listen to us. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, live and local. Dom Giordano is all teed up and ready to go. Hey, Dom.
Hey, thanks, Dawn. Dawn, I've been watching the Secret Service testimony. It's not about just getting this woman out there. There's another major reason why that's important. They're trying to diminish that Trump was almost killed. That's the important thing. Bill O'Reilly, who's talked with Trump, will be on at 12:30. Scott Presler at 1 o'clock. Is Bucks County now red, not blue?
Nice. The Dom